The Green Rage Monster got some pretty sizable buffs in Season 2. Well, 4 buffs to be exact. And the Taciturn Terror is back and better than ever now because of them. In today's video, we're going to take a really quick look at these buffs and chat about how they've elevated Hulk's utility in the arena. And we'll see if he's worth your time to play and learn. Now, polite reminder, I do already have a full Hulk advanced guide on the channel. I'll be sure to link that in the description if you want to check that out. But if you're looking to learn how to play him most effectively, I would strongly recommend you check that video out. I've got about 30 hours on Hulk now, and he's one of the 6 tanks that I have the Lord status on, so I'm very familiar with his kit, his strengths, and his weaknesses. So with that, let's dive in. First up, let's talk about 2 buffs in tandem, buffs that targeted Hulk's overall mobility. First up, they buffed his base movement speed from 600 to 650. Now, it may not be a massive change, but it's certainly noticeable. So one key area where it is noticeable, one of those things that I hope you notice in the video today, in the background gameplay, is how easily I can walk down healers who are backpedaling away from me, okay? Hulk now has enough movement speed to keep up with them while they walk backwards. So you'll see kills on Mantis, Cloak and Dagger, Luna Snow in here, where I'm doing exactly that while keeping my fully charged leap pocketed and ready to go. So that's another part of it. You know, it used to be you'd have to like charge up your leap in order to chase somebody down. But now you can sort of stow your leap and keep it for when you really need to pull a 180 and leap out of there. The second mobility buff he received was the reduction of his minimum charge time in order to perform a leap. Again, it's not a huge change, but it's definitely noticeable. They dropped it from 0.7 seconds to just half a second. As long as you charge for half a second, you'll get a nice little leap instead of just a standard hop. Now this helps, if you need to get back to the point faster, maybe you died, you're in the spawn room, and you need to get back to the point quickly and back into combat. This is a huge deal. It also helps him chase enemies down trying to flee him much more easily. Your more mobile enemies. So between these 2 changes, we're left with a much more mobile Hulk, and it makes him a lot scarier in combat because of it, because he's not as easy to get away from. Now the next major buff he received is actually a pretty big one. It's the reduction of his Indestructible Guard cooldown from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. Now given the nature of Hulk's combat style, this is a massive buff. 2 seconds might not be a big deal for a ranged character, right? But to a hero with a giant hitbox who has to be within a few meters of the enemy team at all times, basically, 2 seconds is a massive deal. But I still see Hulk users only ever activating this ability when they leap into combat. Now, I think that's not the best way to use this skill primarily. One thing I've learned after so much time playing Hulk, if your healers can stay alive, then you can stay alive and you can slay. So instead of using it on myself all the time when I leap into combat, I actually leap back to my team, back to my healers when I get weak, and I shield them as often as I possibly can. And then I turn around, I leap right back into the fray. But you'll notice me often leaping back to the front line, providing those shields for as many people as I can before I go back in for another dive. Now that's because my healers can do much more to protect me than a 200 HP shield can. Now, there will be oh crap moments where you're like, oh shoot, my health just got tanked, I need to pop the shield on myself. That definitely still happens. But being able to protect your healers is going to give you much more mileage and much more survivability as you're keeping them alive. But another thing that makes this buff such a big deal is that the shield has no limit on the amount of burst damage it can take. It's always been like that, but we're going to be able to use it in these like oh crap moments much more frequently to protect our team. So in other words, even though it only has 200 HP for me and 100 HP for my allies, it can take 1,000 damage and not let any of the excess damage through to hurt the player. It'll just break the shield. Now that means I can protect my teammates more often from Wanda ults, Iron Man ults, the Thing ults, etc. Also, the reduction of his leap timer makes it so it's easier to leap back to your team and shield them the moment you need to. So we basically got a bigger grace period here where we hear the call out of a big ultimate that's about to be popped, a big ability that's about to go down. We can get back to our team and provide that shielding for them to help protect them from those big abilities. So Hulk's ability to be a protector is one of the most overlooked parts of his kit. Now, the way I see it, if I play Hulk in a match, then my healers should absolutely feel the effects of my presence on the field. and I should leave an impression on them because they felt safer and well defended. That's also going to compel them to keep their heals focused on me as much as possible. It's a symbiotic relationship here. But I get a lot of props from healers in the game chat after matches end when I play Hulk, and it's simply because I'm saving their lives just as much as they're saving mine. And healers are kind of more or less used to feeling ignored by their teammates, right? So if I can break that stigma for them, they notice. All right, let's move on. Now, I told you there were 4 buffs to the Hulk. We've only mentioned 3. Well, the 4th is actually not a direct buff as much as it is an indirect one. But Hulk's team-ups changed. He lost the Doctor Strange team-up, but he gained a Namor one, right? The scary green laser squid. I think this trio works so much better, to be honest. You've got Namor getting a super laser squid, which keeps the skies much more locked down. Now that frees up Iron Man to occupy that space with his gamma charge up as well, more safely without having to worry so much about Spider-Man's and Iron Fist, jumping up to him and taking him out of the sky. And he's really good at shooting over the enemy front line with the gamma charge up, the big splash damage, big green damage. He can shoot over the front line into the back line and take out healers. Now that in turn makes Hulk much more of a threat since he can leap, right onto the enemy front line without now having to worry so much about his damage getting negated by the healers behind the enemy vanguards. So all in all, this trio has a ton of synergy, and it's why this team up is already getting a lot of flack from dive mains. They're not super happy about it. Now, Iron Man used to be a free kill for Spidey's and Iron Fist. He's not anymore. Their main counter got buffed with Namor, and so now when they swap off their divers, they're getting bullied by Hulk. It all works really, really well together. So to wrap up this conversation, I'd encourage you, there's never been a better time to learn Hulk than right now. Your teammates will love you for it, okay? Your DPSers will feel empowered by the team-up options that it opens up for them. Your healers will love you because you'll be keeping them alive and helping them avoid big ults that usually put them down, like Iron Man's and Magneto's. And you'll be a much bigger threat than you were last season with your added mobility. So again, I highly encourage you to check out my full advanced guide for Hulk, and feel free to check out my playlist that's just my hero guides. There's 19 of them in there now, so I'm sure that you'll find a character that you'd like to pick up somewhere on that list. I always wait until I have at least 20 hours on a hero before I even think about making a guide, because I personally got fed up with the number of fluff guides on YouTube that were all practice range footage with the standard yellow KO notification with people just reading ability descriptions. My goal has always been to flat out do better and make a higher caliber of guide, and I stand by that. Hopefully, I'll eventually have an advanced guide on every single character. I'm well on the way already. I've got over 750 hours in the game right now with 14 Lord characters, and I'm not slowing down anytime soon. And with that, I say thank you so much for tuning into the video today. If you enjoyed it, would you let me know by leaving a like on the video, as that's the best free way to support the content right here on YouTube. And consider subscribing for additional Marvel Rivals content. I gotta give a big shout out to the Marvel Rivals community. You guys have been so receptive of me and my content. Thank you so much to the now over 20,000 new subscribers to the channel since I started covering this game. It's been such a warm welcome, and I've really enjoyed my time here. Let me know what you think about Hulk this season in the comments section below. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.